up guys, welcome back. I love controllers, obviously, and one of the most original controller designs is the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con, whether you like them or not. I mean, Nintendo definitely established something there, quite the following. I'm looking at you, Steam Deck. And recently a company named BinBok, who I had never heard of before, reached out to me saying, you know what, how about you check out our Joy-Con? Sure, send one over. I mean, why not? I'll have a look, I'll review the thing, maybe make a nice video or so. But you know what? Since that day, life hasn't quite been the same. This Joy-Con is amazing. I mean, definitely my #1 third-party controller out on the market, and we're going over all of the reasons why so. So without further ado, let's have a look at the BinBok Joy-Cons for your Nintendo Switch. Now before we dive in and have a look at what makes these Joy-Cons by BinBok so special, and quite frankly make these my personal favorite third-party Joy-Cons available on the market, I just want to go over a few of the other third-party options I've had the pleasure of reviewing over the past so many years. Starting with this one by Dobie, one of the early adopters of a third-party Joy-Con designed in that original Nintendo Switch neon blue and neon red color scheme. These were quickly followed up by JYS, a heavy hitter competitor obviously, who came up with this Pokemon Let's Go color scheme and a different shape altogether, a D-pad and all that. Then they didn't sit still and kept reimagining the Joy-Con. These two are by JYS, and these I have reviewed. I still love these, this Super Nintendo scheme, color scheme, North American color scheme with those inbuilt amiibo data. Now, just to be clear, in case you're wondering, how come you have these two middle parts? Well, I 3D printed them. Obviously, I can share the files, just send a quick message. Now, what these all have in common, other than the fact that they're just all Joy-Cons, is that they are basically the same as the original Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. Here are the ones from the Nintendo Switch OLED, as in small joystick, small buttons, basically the same form factor. However, they tried to improve the overall grip by increasing the size or giving it extra handles and all that stuff. But in essence, your basic Nintendo Switch Joy-Con.
This beat is on fire.
With this edition by BinBok though, things have changed, the rules have changed significantly. Well, before we open it up, you see on the top of the box there are different versions of these Joy-Cons. Today we're obviously looking at the YS37. You might want to write that one down. There are different options on the market. You don't want to miss out on these. These are the very top of the line products. Now we'll open it up, because the box is, well, to be honest, nothing special really. But what's inside here, that's what makes your blood pump. Here we go. Box is just a straight up box. We have a manual, which I highly recommend you keep in a safe place, because this controller packs quite the punch and you will need to check up on all the functions, how to activate them and all that. Now here we have a clear plastic, you can remove that, and there we have the Joy-Cons. These are obviously designed matching the same Animal Crossing colors as the original Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, and on the bottom you see we have this one. This middle part comes with it straight out of the box, high quality. This is obviously not 3D printed, but very welcome. And we see one charging cable, USB-A to USB-C. That's nice. Although to be fair, I think they should have used this split split cable because you obviously have 2 Joy-Cons, or at the very least included 2 cables. But really that's nitpicking here. Now we can quickly lift them, they're not pressed in, so that's good. A little bit of plastic there. And the first thing you'll notice is that these are quite a lot bigger than some of the previous Joy-Cons out there, as well as the buttons. Therein lies quite the difference between the early adopters and this version, because one of the general complaints with Joy-Cons is that the buttons are too small, the joysticks are too small. Well, not the case with these ones by BinBok. The joysticks are big, broad, and the top has a concave shape for you to put your thumb into, press it into, and these edges are profiled so that your thumb doesn't just slip off. That is really nice, really welcome. These are features of a Pro controller. You don't really see that with Joy-Cons at all, like first party or third party. Furthermore, there is a D-pad, a proper D-pad, which upon reflection is actually of pretty high quality. You can't just press all the buttons at the same time, and it has a slightly concave shape as well. I like it. I really like it. It's not the best D-pad I've ever used, but it's a big step up from the split D-pads or the separate buttons altogether that you find on many options, including the first-party Joy-Cons by Nintendo. The buttons are quite big, as I said. To be honest, I prefer smaller buttons, but I can understand that majority of the people who use Joy-Cons, well, they will be better off with these. Let's just say that much. Plus minus buttons, clicky buttons, as you can hear, work just fine, big enough, and down here you have the screen capture and the home buttons. You see that these rails have the same layout as you can expect. The top has the bumpers, which are high quality buttons all the same, and the triggers, digital obviously, work as can be expected. Placement is fine, you can't really overgrip, and no matter where you press on the buttons, they insert at the same point. Now that's all good and well. At the back side though, we find an extra button, a programmable button, which is extremely helpful. I for one don't like the button under the joysticks at all with any kind of controller. I always try to map that first thing I see to the back button. You see 2 more buttons, the so-called M button, which is used to register this button, and the T button, which is not only a turbo button, you know, the turbo functionality, the auto fire, but with this turbo button you can adjust the RGB colors and the pulsating and all that stuff of these LEDs. That's handy, but you can also set the vibration strength, the strength of your rumble motor, with that turbo button. We'll go over that in just a moment. At the bottom you find your port for your USB-C charger cable, and you see that this part is flattened off so you can actually make your controller stand. Or can't do that like this because obviously it's not connected. When you hook it up to your Nintendo Switch, you can make them stand upright. So there is a lot of stuff packed in this Joy-Con, but one of the best things yet is the simple grip of it. It is so comfortable. It has this profiled backside which helps in your grip. The shape is extremely ergonomic. I can't applaud this enough. This is an amazingly comfort feel. And when you hook that up to this middle part, listen, I love that click. Right there, you have that button to pull it off. There we go. Here is your, well, Pro controller of sorts. You see that this is quite a lot bigger, or thicker I should say, than that middle part. But this is where the money is, guys. This is a wonderful option if you're looking for a third-party controller. There you can see it is actually standing as it should. Now let's test some of the functions, including that RGB, the turbo function and all that, while using the Nintendo Switch OLED. First things first, yes, you can wake up your Nintendo Switch with your Joy-Cons. simply hold, well, one of them, doesn't really matter, hold the home button. Say hold that one too. And there we are. Joy-Cons are on. You can see that the LED already start pulsating and Nintendo Switch wakes up. There we go. And let's try the simple buttons first. A, B, X, Y. All works. These guys. Well, that's all lovely. Let's end it there. And let's try that again. So now let's try these back buttons. You see, nothing is happening. If I press and hold the M button and one of the buttons of my choice, say that joystick button, now supposedly that's registered. Let's look at this. And you see that works just fine. Now hold that for 5 seconds. That was a small vibration. And now it's clear. Obviously same for the other side, as you can expect. Now, that's all lovely and well. Now the turbo function works by holding down the turbo function and one of the buttons. See, now if I press the A, nothing happens but a single click. I'll do that again and hold down the turbo and A once. Now if I hold A, it keeps auto firing. And the same trick applies here. Hold this down for 5 seconds and your turbo function will clear. There was the vibration. And that's it. Great stuff! Now let's check out that RGB function, the LED, which I think is a lovely feature, to be honest. It keeps pulsating. There are 8 colors, I believe, from yellow to green to blue and all that. Now, if you want to change that, hold down, what was it, the T button and press the joystick once. And you change the color. See, that's blue. Then we cycle through. Purple. This is all the colors at once. That's also nice. Red, etc. And if you do that twice, then it starts pulsating and cycling through all of the colors. Obviously this works per Joy-Con. I can do this on my left side, I can do this on my right side individually. I think this is just a lovely touch. If you want to adjust the rumble strength, pretty much the same movements here. Hold down the turbo button and move the joystick up. You increase the vibration, the rumble strength. If you move it down, you decrease it. Like 4 strengths, I believe. 25%, 50, 75, and 100%. 5, I guess, there's 0 as well. So all in all, I think this controller has these controllers, really, a pair of Joy-Cons, these controllers are so diverse. They pack so many functions. They are extremely comfortable to hold. You can use them like this with this provided middle part. That's a big gain there. And you can just hook them up to your Nintendo Switch. They look lovely. I haven't showed you yet. Slide them on. Now the only downside I have, if I have to nitpick, is that they don't register the colors accordingly. If you look very closely, see it shows a gray one. That shows a gray one. Whereas my other Joy-Cons, they all show the corresponding color, whether it's the Pikachu yellow or the Eevee or, well, Eevee beige brown, the red, the blue. So that is basically the only thing I don't like about them. Then again, they might just patch that out, I guess. You can hook them up to your PC and upgrade them. So that is a really nice feature. And to be honest, guys, you should do that. Just the cherry on top. With that, guys, I will be signing off. I sincerely hope you'll be picking these up because these are, quite simply put, the best Joy-Cons, third-party Joy-Cons available on the market. And I would say pick them up. They're $50. They're currently on offer. There's a 20% discount or something like that. Be sure to scroll down to the comment section. I'll provide a link and all that stuff. And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to drop a comment in the section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and I will see you next time.